I'm Jim Sakala from Dynotech Research and DrumPreserve. One more time, just want to show the guys the latest iteration of the system that we're providing to people to pressurize their drummed liquids, race fuel, chemicals, or whatever you have. Now, my primary interest is the race fuel, keeping enough head pressure on the fuel to prevent the loss of the front ends. I'm always harping on that. Reed vapor pressure is critical, and I've got YouTube videos showing how we test reed vapor pressure. The new and improved DrumPreserve system now comes with a 90-degree outlet, because people were complaining that the old vertical outlet was trapping a little bit of liquid in the hose and allowing that little bit to go stale. So we got a nice street elbow here to prevent fuel from remaining in the hose after you've dispensed what you need. The other thing we've done is got rid of the hose as a siphon tube. This is the really nice super thane ester hose that we provide with the system. You can see it doesn't make a very good siphon. So we instead now include this little copper adapter that goes 3/8 pipe to 1/2-inch copper pipe. So, and this doesn't come with a kit, so you have to go to the store and buy yourself about 3 feet of this and cut it to length. What I do is I cut it at about a little 45-degree angle, so if it touches the bottom of the drum, we can still dispense the fluid. Everything else is about the same, so I'll go through this one more time. This is just a few gallons of pump gas in here just for demo. Drop that piece in there. Sometimes we put a little bit of WD-40 on the gasket so you could squeeze it a little tighter. And take an inch and an 1/8 wrench, or crescent wrench, give it a little, put about 30 pounds-feet of torque on it. And we can apply the super thane hose to it. It fits really nice, so you don't need to clamp it. That's good enough. And the regulator is all pre-assembled, and we provide 6 feet of 1/4-inch hose, and that's a nice tight fit, so you don't just squeeze that on. You don't need to have a clamp on that either. The only time it would be smart to put a clamp on here is if we sell an extension hose. Now, it's one of the options for guys that are, say, trailering a 30-gallon or 55-gallon drum of fuel. Then we've got an option of a 10-foot extension with another valve on it, so that you can dispense your race gas right into your vehicle, whether it's a snowmobile or a racing motorcycle or car. Then we provide clamps for that. So just for purposes of demo, we got both valves shut. There's no pressure in the drum. There's just a few gallons of fuel on the bottom. So we'll first back this regulator out. The adjusting screw comes out. Turn this on. And it's smart to have the valve all the way open too. There's a double seat mechanism in there. So for pump gas, which has a reed vapor pressure in summertime of about 5 psi, to keep that fresh, we need to keep about 3 pounds on it, just a little over half. So I've got this closed. I'm just going to bring the pressure up gradually, about 3 psi. There we go. Just a touch more. Just a touch over. So now it's just gradually open the nitrogen valve. You can hear it. The nitrogen, let it fill nice and gradual. It'll come up to 3 psi, then the nitrogen flow will shut itself off. Okay, so now, and what you should do is check around here for use some Windex or a mixture of water and dishwashing detergent just to check for, make sure there's no leaks, and if you see a couple bubbles, just give it another 1/8 of a turn. So now we got pressure, and we're going to dispense a little fuel. Of course, there's the siphon tube and the hose is all full of air, so we'll get a few air bubbles. And whenever you're filling a vessel, it's just smart to fill it from the bottom. I'm going to demonstrate that. The splashing raises hell with the fuel. Every time it splashes from one vessel to another, you lose more of your front end. So now, see, we're filling it right from the bottom, and there's very little splashing going on. The pump gas comes at about 5 psi reed vapor pressure in the summertime, and if you just splash it from the handle of a pump at the gas station, splash it into a container, you'll lose about 1 psi of reed vapor pressure. Then if you splash that into a vehicle, you'll lose another psi. So agitation is really brutal on gasoline. So for transportation, having pressure on it like this is really important. And for transporting it, we've got some new options available. These are Jiffy type quick couplers. They're valved at both ends, so when I disconnect this, this is shut off completely, so it's a redundant seal. So even if you do this, no fuel will come out. And the same with the nitrogen. Quick couple, so it's a convenient way to travel with the DrumPreserve system. And a lot of these are being used in industry now for chemicals and alcohol, methanol. So this is the latest stuff. All of this is on our website, DrumPreserve.com. This is another option, having a 15 psi gauge, so you can monitor the pressure in the drum. So if you shut it off for any reason, you can be assured that there's adequate head pressure to prevent the loss of the front ends and the fuel while you're traveling. Because again, agitation and heat are both brutal. And if you're traveling in an enclosed black trailer, for example, in the summertime, it's imperative that you keep nitrogen on the fuel, and it'll last for years that way. So that's the latest, DrumPreserve.com. Okay, and one other thing that I forgot to mention, we still have this very, very important 10 psi pressure relief valve. It serves two functions. One is to prevent overpressurizing the drum in case something happens to the regulator goes bad, or somebody cranks the screw all the way in thinking they're shutting the regulator off. Then the drums have a hydrostatic test pressure of about 38 psi, so we're in good shape there. So if we've emptied the drum and we want to put the bung on a fresh drum, we need to release the pressure. So all you got to do is lift this pressure relief valve, and the nitrogen will escape. And once it's down to 0, then you can unscrew it, get yourself a fresh drum. And always test the fuel before you put the nitrogen system on there, because if it's, and a lot of times we've seen guys get sealed drums that have real low reed vapor pressure. So in that case, it's almost worth testing it yourself to make sure it's good, and then keep the nitrogen pressure on it. So that's it, DrumPreserve.com.